Soon throughout the world, women realized that the vote alone was not enough to guarantee them full and equal participation in society. A lifelong struggle had begun.
You woke the giant in me.
Hello! Is that better? We're Deborah and Karen from the Deborah VL Band and Keller Williams, the Girls Island Properties, and welcome to Happy Wahine Farm. Welcome to a special edition of Wahine Week! Our normal event is out in the flesh in the community for one whole week of education, entertainment, and empowerment. But we're doing it different this year. Let's be honest. Nothing is normal these days. But that doesn't mean we can't share a cool collection of bold and beautiful and gummit Wahine who make this island so special. We're going online and we're calling it WAHINE Weekendz. We hope you enjoy this virtual series meant to celebrate, empower, and enlighten all of us. Here's our friend Trisha Dish to tell you all about it.
Thanks, Deb and Karen and Jolene. How ridiculous and adorable are they? Aloha, I'm Trisha Dish, and I'm honored to help present a fantastic gathering which celebrates, educates, and empowers us all. This year, WAHINE Week is mixing it up, and we're going online. We'll be featuring a virtual series known as WAHINE Weekendz. We're presenting performers whose music lifts our souls and members of the Maui community who continue to inspire us through their dedication and drive. I'm referring to this first edition as the Super Mama Show, as these are great examples of women in the Maui community who not only are heroes at home, but in their careers and passionate endeavors. First up is a global goddess many of us already adore. She's a wild spirit and sweet soul whose vivacious voice and contagious energy dazzles us all. She'll be joined today by her creative partner in crime, a stringster we love, known as the Beast, Justin Morris. Ladies and gentlemen, Gretchen Rhodes.
Thank you, Trisha Dish. Thank you so much. It's so good to be here tonight for this Wahine Festival week. Amazing. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Deborah. So excited to be here. I am here with Mr. Justin Morris, this amazing musician. Also, he is my musical husband, and he is also known as the Beast. The Beast. He's super beastie. Get it down. Woo! And we're going to throw down a few of the tunes that we have written together, an a cappella that I wrote. Let's just get into it. This song is called Dusted and Done. You say you know what you're doing, but every time I turn, you're just messing around. I said you think you know what you're doing. You ain't the only one been around. You got me coming down, all sad and lonely. All my other friends are out of sight. Yeah, the thing is, you ain't the only time, and again you think it's right. You're spoiled to the core. You're gonna end up all alone. I feel sorry for you, man. You're gonna end up on your own, yeah. But you know what? It's all good, really. I can learn and grow from what you've done, who you are. I don't wanna be got those lessons dusted and done. Got me coming down. alone, all sad and lonely. All the friends are out of sight. Yeah, thing is, you ain't the only time and again you think it's right. You're spoiled to the core. You're gonna end up all alone. I feel sorry for you, man. You're gonna end up on your own, yeah. Yeah, you won't change. You may grow, but you stay the same this time. When you grow, but you stay the same. I know I can't and I won't remain this time. Yeah, you won't change. You may grow, but you stay the same. Oh, yeah. Oh, you say you know what you're doing. Every time I turn, you're just messing around. I said you think you know what you're doing. You ain't the only woman around. You ain't the only woman around. I said that you ain't the only woman around. Yeah, buddy. Fun. All right. That's when the crowd goes, wow. We hope you're having such a good time here with us tonight. We're so glad to be here. It feels good to be performing after 7 months of not performing, even though it's to no one, but everyone, but no one here, but everyone. I'm going to do a song that I actually wrote about my husband. He wasn't my husband at the time. I had just met him. We had spent maybe a week together, and I wrote this song on the airplane on my way back to the Virgin Islands where I was living at the time. And this is about my man, P.O. Morosco. So, and it goes like this. He sat down beside me and blew my mind. Spoon-fed me love for the very first time. Do you live in the place we're going? No, I live away from my own knowing, yeah. I keep finding him on every side, seeing his face. Now he can't hide. Every time I close my eyes, I see his face. Now he can't hide. Oh, what have you done to me? Yeah. His love is magic, his love is beauty. Ti amo d'amore. All of this in one moment, you changed my life. And now you sure make you finding him on every side. Seeing his face, now he can't hide. Every time I close my eyes, I see his face. Now he can't hide. Ti amo d'amore. Ti amo d'amore. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. I'm going to call Justin back onto the stage. We also call her his living room. You know, we're going to switch over to 2 more of the songs that he and I have written together. I wrote these lyrics a couple of years after 2 of my best friends died. That's what these tattoos are here for. 2 of my best friends died within a year and a half of each other. One had found the love of her life and was pregnant. She was 5 months pregnant, and she walked outside of her door to go take the dog for a walk and dropped dead. Not to make this, sorry to make this depressing, but ended up dying, and the baby didn't live as well. It was just super tragic. This girl never, we'd hang out and have some wine, but she was never one to party or do the whole thing. This was just it was unbelievable. And then a year and a half later, another one of my best friends, we had a group of 10 girls in the Caribbean, and another one of my best friends, Carrie, died. We're not exactly sure why, but anyway, I wrote this song about them. It's called Soul Sisters, and these tracks will be coming out on an EP that we're doing together sometime in the lovely near future.
It's happening right now.
It is happening right now. So, okay, this is this. Such a good record. She wanted all that she didn't have. And what she had, she couldn't see. And what was clear to me was lost at sea. Now that lies on me. So good, Justin. She was an angel in this big world, but she looked just like a normal girl. All she touched was gold, her dying dreams, turning old. Well, you're my sister forever in any world. Life is brighter than any girl. We were sisters, now I see life was bound. Now your soul is free. Say that you're in a better place, but hearing that is like a slap in the face. I feel you shining through. Now the whole world belongs to you. It's clear to me now. Freedom called you back somehow, and I can't pretend that it's all just fleeting in the end. Well, you're my sister forever in any world. Your life is brighter than any girl. We were sisters, now I see your life is bound. Now your soul is free. Oh, they say that you're in a better place, but hearing that is like a slap in the face. I feel you shining through. Now the world belongs to you. It's clear to me now. Freedom calls you back somehow. When I can't pretend that it's all just fleeting in the end. Can I swear? I really want to. I flipping love that song. I love that riff that you made up. Justin on the music. Like, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my God. Okay. We've got one more, and it's one that he and I wrote. And I actually, let me just, Pio, you're very lucky. This is another song that I wrote about Pio and about how much I love him, not the opposite, which happens a lot. These are the positive songs that I've written about him.
This is the first one we did.
This is the first one that we did. It is. Let me just get my...
So,
you tell me.
A year ago this week.
Is it?
A year ago this week.
No. This week?
You asked me to write music with you.
Amazing. I love that. See? Look where we've come. You've now become my musical husband.
And this is the first piece of music that I text messaged you after that.
And I was like, yes, please. Let's have more of that. So great. So great. Hey, let me just take another opportunity here to say thank you to everybody that's watching. I really want to say thank you to Deborah and Karen. You guys are my heroes. Absolutely love you. You're incredible, incredible women. And I think that's what this thing is all about, right? This is the Wahine Festival. So I'm just going to go off for a second and just thank all of the strong women that are in my life. My mother, my grandmother, my sister, my sisters that are no longer here. My support system, my newfound sisters family here on this island, which I've been here for 15 years. But, and I always had my sisters in the Caribbean and the people that I kind of grew up with in my 20s. But, I'm making this other really close-knit people. I guess my point is that, especially with all these crazy, messed up times that we're living through right now, it's amazing to have a support system. Of course, we need our brothers and we need the men in our lives. But for women, it is extremely important to have a network of sisters to be able to rely on and talk to. It is therapy. It is like nothing else. It is something that is just soul warming for the heart, warming for the soul, and therapeutic. It just is. So find that group of close women that you can talk to about all the shit that's fucking happening. I said it twice. I said two bad words. I said it. I'm sorry. Normally I would be swearing like a pirate. But thank you. Thank you for having us. Please love yourself. Self-love. Women empowerment. Remember who you are. Because we got this. We got this. We got this. We got this. Last song. Now and forever. In the end, it was only you. I love you more than I ever knew. One look in your eyes and I knew I was whole. Now you know I ain't alone. Years and years through ups and downs, I know that with you I have found all the dreams I ever knew. Every first begins with you. You are my one, you are my only. You are everything on this journey. We can conquer the world together. Take my hand now and forever. There will always be tough times. Life is messy and intertwined. Won't give up on us. No, cling to Cupid's arrow. We are the reason that I am. You are my mirror, my best friend. I wish to tell you more every day. You are my dream in every way. conquer the world together. Take my hand now and forever there will always be tough times. Life is messy and intertwined. Won't give up on us, no, no. Pain to keep it simple. Said I can't leave it all. Said I can't give it all. I'll matrix out of there. Woo! Wahine Festival. Thank you, Trisha Dish. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Trisha
Love you,
Dish.
Trish.
Thank
Love you,
you,
Karen.
everybody.
Love you, Deborah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Justin.
Wow, that was incredible. What a performance. Another Wonder Wahine here on Wahine Weekend, the series presented by the Deborah Vial Band. I'm Trish the Dish, super excited to have this next inspirational speaker for our event this weekend. She is a longtime friend, actually, of a lot of women on this island. She's someone I've looked up to the minute I moved here. She's a dedicated mother, dedicated wife, and recently a homeschool teacher, like many women here in Hawaii. And she also is somebody who, you know, she's strong enough to rise above any kind of controversy. And she's really, I think, a great role model for our keiki. And we're just really happy to have her here today. She's a community advocate, always fun. I love her personality. She can giggle and at the same time gives us the hard-hitting news. We love her. This is Maui's own meteorologist, Malika Dudley.
Thank you so much. That was a very kind introduction. And I love Gretchen. She's fabulous. She's one of my friends. So go, girl.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Isn't she fantastic? Every time I see her, she gets better and better. And one of the best things about you guys is that you are powerful women, but you're so nice. I love women who are funny and nice and then also can kick some butt if they need to.
I know. Why is it such a surprise? Why is it, you know?
But being funny and nice is not a weakness, you know? Like, I think it's even more empowering. And crying, too. I was told by a psychologist, crying is a sign of strength. Yeah. Like, we're not going to cry, though, today. We're just talking about positivity. And it's been a really exciting, it's a tumultuous year for many of us. But at the same time, I love when I see people in positions of public figure rising above and being a role model, you know. And you've taken this year, and instead of sitting around and just, you know, pouting, you've taken this and you're just been driving force. You know, I've been seeing you everywhere. I mean, let's talk a little bit about your new job this last year. Besides a homeschool mother, which, man, you moms are the real heroes, I tell you what, of this pandemic year. But you're Maui's own meteorologist and journalist for Maui. You're kind of like Maui's journalist right now. I love it. And you work remotely from Maui for KITV Island News. So tell us a little bit about that exciting experience.
Yeah, so what's really interesting is that I'm a Big Island girl. I was born and raised in Papaikou on the Hamakua coast of the Big Island. And after going to public school, I kept going to public school, got into UH Manoa and graduated from there, started my master's, and just happened to meet the right person at the right time and got into the news business with Hawaii News Now first. It was KGMB at the time, then it switched to Hawaii News Now. And then I got pregnant and moved back home to the Big Island. And so I resigned from news. And I took about a year off. And then I just couldn't help myself. I guess it's just in my bones, you know, I gotta do work. And so Maui Watch asked me to come on to cover their hurricane season and do weather stuff. And so this was a purely volunteer thing. I didn't know much about the site or how it started or anything like that. So it was pretty interesting. I think I helped them grow on social media. So that was cool to be able to contribute in that way. I was with them for about 10 months, and then Maui Now, which is Pacific Media Group, hired me, and I was with them for about 6 years. So what's interesting, I think, to note is that when I started, I was in my 20s, and, you know, I mean, being a young woman in a new career, you're just kind of feeling it out. And after I started having children and had a family of my own, I realized that I needed to set my own boundaries. And so when I came into this job with Maui Now, I knew what I was willing to provide, and I knew where to set my boundaries, and I knew my value, which was so important, And so it was great that I got to set up a situation where I could work from home with Maui Now. And I was the only person doing this. I've been doing it for 7 years now. And, I would cover hurricanes wherever I was. And that's the beauty. What happened over that last decade was that social media became an avenue to be able to reach the masses. So we used to just have mass media and communication and interpersonal, and now we've got mass personal. So people could get to know you as a person, but also you could disseminate whatever you want, be it serious news or my child just got potty trained, it just ran the gamut. And so that was really cool for me because it just happened so organically. And doing news from a hotel room or my backyard or in an airport. I remember, fast forward, I was laid off. Pacific Media Group laid off a bunch of people, and I was one of those people that got laid off because of COVID. And this was in March. It was immediate. Once they realized, I guess, that they couldn't afford to have all of us on, they had to make cuts, and I was one of the cuts. It was really unfortunate because I was covering the coronavirus every single day, all day long. And so, I felt that I had value to bring, but at the same time, it's great to be an adult because you realize that your value is not linked intrinsically to a company or an organization. You are who you are, and your value is you. And so that's what I think the last couple of years have really helped me to do, is come in to myself more and to get to know myself more and to be more confident. I've always been a confident person, but there's a difference with looking within and being able to know, okay, like, these are my values. I live my values. And as long as I live my values, whatever anybody says or does to me really doesn't matter. KITV did a story on me because I did a birthday fundraiser, and one of my followers put up $5,000 and said that if you can raise $5,000, I will match it. And so it turned my tiny little Maui Food Bank fundraiser into this giant thing. We ended up raising exactly $10,000. Shane Victorino was the last person. He was like, I want to round it out for you. I want to make it an even 10K. And then the KITV news director saw that interview. So it wasn't even a like, oh, I've noticed the good work this girl does, or, oh, we're looking for a meteorologist. They were looking for a meteorologist, but it was this happenstance. And so I wake up at 3 a.m. on Saturdays and Sundays. I do weather from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. I help them out with their social media. I'm one of their social media consultants. And then I do stories every now and then, and they're all Maui County stories or Big Island because I have that connection. And so it's been really rewarding to be able to be back in, the career part of my life, yet also it feels so balanced with everything that's happening despite COVID and the craziness. Yeah, it's great that you bring that up because there is that implicit bias that I think we all have it, honestly. I fall into the trap every now and then, but it's about being aware of it. And so whenever something like that happens to me, where they like to call them haters, right? Or trolls or whatever. When something like that happens, I don't really view it as a hater or a troll. I view it as someone who isn't yet aware of their biases, their implicit biases. And I like to think that there's so much good in everyone, and that everyone, I know that not everyone is on the same path, of being very aware and conscious and trying to do better. I know this because I was on autopilot for many, many years. And not to say that I wasn't a good person during that time, right? Like That's what I'm saying. Like, when these haters and trolls are doing these things, it's not that they're not good people. You know, they're making bad choices, and maybe they need a little someone to present it to them in a way that's kind, but so that they can reflect. And so a male posted earlier this week, I did a really quick tsunami advisory update because, so I went on and I didn't look like this. I just came off of work. That's why you got me like this. Otherwise you would have got me with the tita bun up here, no makeup. And
I'm hoping for the tita bun, actually.
Oh, here we go. Okay, I will give you the tita bun.
We get both sides of
whatever I was wearing, right? And so it was a tank top. and mind you that we do news, but the majority of the time we're only dressed on top anyway. Leggings, always. Yeah. So I had no makeup on, and the guy wrote, maybe next time take 10 minutes to look more professional. And I was like, okay, this is an opportunity to write back to him in a kind way, you know, and maybe he'll see his ways. I did write back, and I just said the way I look does not have any impact on the quality of my work. But destructive criticism, we should not let in. And we are in control of that. So that's what's been, I think, so empowering for me over the last couple of years, because this has been a journey. I don't know, you can't worry about what other people think or say. And the opinion that's going to be most important always is your own opinion. And so, that's what I try to tell kids when I go in for career days and things like that. I barely ever talk about my career. I talk about this kind of stuff, you know, because this is the kind of stuff that we deal with our entire lives. You know, you start in middle school, you know, once those hormones kick in, like that's when we start to feel this judgment, and you should look this way or act that way, or you know, whatever it is. If you're not into the hip thing, you know, then you're not cool, and none of that matters. None of it, you know. And what I've also realized is you just need to surround yourself with good people that have the same values as you know, and then also be open to hearing opinions that are not the same as the ones that float in your head, you know, because that helps us to reflect, that helps us to learn, that helps us to grow, and maybe we can help the other person do the same.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Make sure you follow Malika Dudley on Instagram, also on Facebook, and you can also follow KITV Island News. And I'm always tuning in, and I know thousands of us are tuning in every day. So thanks so much for being such a bright and cheery personality. Even during hurricanes, you know, you still have sunshine, so we appreciate that. All right, guys, we'll be back with more entertainment from Wahine Weekend. I'm Trisha Dish. Thanks for being here.
Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Trisha Dish, back here with another segment of our fantastic Wahine Weekend. Isn't this been great? What a beautiful weekend of empowering women in arts, music, community, and all across Maui, Hawaii. We're very, very excited. For our next guest today, we have a very special treat. When I think about somebody who's called to action for the community, somebody who's a soul sister, a vocal queen, a mother, a fighter, a lover, this lady definitely comes in my head. And if you hadn't had a chance to see her or experience her, you're in for a special treat. She's joined by groovy guitarist Josh Hurl, and they're barefoot in Pukalani here for Wahine Weekend. Without further ado, let's welcome Nara Boone.
Hello. Hi, nice to see you.
Nice to see you. I'm so excited to have you here. I can't wait for your set. I know it's going to be full of love and emotion and passion, because I don't think you know how to not do that. It's just like in every moment of your life.
Well, that is true. I want to start off our set with a special song. I know we're not supposed to talk too much about everything going on in the world, probably, possibly, maybe. However, if there's one thing COVID has taught us, it is that this entire world is interconnected, and there aren't really any boundaries. There's no lines dividing any of us, and this whole fight for racial justice is because this thing is affecting brown-skinned people so much more than the rest, when really, we're all just the same, and we're all made of light. That was a first. Thank you.
Still some places, waves of memories pull life together for me. And the lines at your eyes are the echoes of smiles. And as time goes by, your beauty changes me. Some won't heal, some make us stronger. Still hiding in the pain of a happy refrain. But the echo remains. Yes, the echo remains. Like ripples on water, a shape-shifting cloud. They sing out loud through your smile, reflecting, watching the rain through the sunshine, and the lines at your eyes are the echoes of smiles. And as time goes by, your beauty changes me. Some wounds heal, some make us stronger. Still hiding in the pain of a happy refrain. But the echo remains. Yes, the echo remains. What do you think? All right, this next song is an original, and we're actually still working it out. So what you hear is we're going to be hearing it at the same time. And it's about women taking their power back. And I feel like this is especially important right now. Ruth Bader Ginsburg opened the doors for so many men and women in our society. And I feel like her replacement is walking through the door she opened for us, and then she's slamming them shut. and I don't accept that. So I feel like as women, we are kind of conditioned to be docile, to not speak up, you know, to look pretty and just sit on the side kind of thing. And that's not who many of us are. I was in a situation where I can say this here. I was threatened, physically threatened by someone who was going to come to my house. And Deb and Karen texted me and gave me a safe haven. They gave me their address, the gate code, and said that no one needs to know you're here. Bring your children and come find a safe space and be safe. And I don't think I'll ever forget that. So thank you, women, so much for that. And it was not my husband, because he knows better. I have to say that, you know. We were going to film this last week, and I couldn't because my best friend was having a baby, and it was a home birth, and I needed to be there. And my mother was a midwife. I grew up in the home birth society, kind of, and I had 3 children of my own in her home, in the same bathtub that my siblings were born in. And I've got to say, if everyone could witness what a natural birth is, whether it's home birth or not, witness the power of women and what we endure to bring everyone else into the world, there would be no discrimination against us whatsoever. I just gotta say. So that's my spiel. I'm really proud to be here, and I want to share this tune with you. Don't you think of me when you go to sleep? I'm not your crutch anymore. Don't you call my name even in your dreams. Erase me from your fate. I've erased you from my destiny. No more time. You did me wrong, I moved on. You're the only one hurting inside. You won't get my tears or any more years. Best be on your way. Don't you look at me to fix what you broke, to make it better, trying to make it right again. To say this thing's over isn't quite the truth. This thing ended way before it began. 'Cause you don't get my tears or any more years. You know, best be on your way. Said our goodbye.
then did I learn to follow your lies. You say to trust you, baby, it's an impossible feat. You're never saying you don't shit where you eat. Oh, honey, you don't get my time. You done me wrong, I moved on. You're the only one hurt inside. Oh, yeah. You're the only one hurting inside. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you. You won't get my tears or any more years. Best be on your way. 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 Well, that was fun. I like that one. That'll work.
All right, we're back with more from Wahine Weekend. I'm Trisha Dish, so stoked to have our next speaker here today. She has a smile that'll captivate you, her brilliant mind invigorates, and her drive motivates us all. She's an inspiring Maui mother. She's a gifted writer, a passionate civil rights activist, and community advocate. And she's also the dedicated executive director of Creative Corps, a school and educational transformation consultant and advocate. Without further ado, we'd like to welcome to the Wahine Weekend stage, the one and only Marty Masuda Cleveland.
Hi, Trish. Hi, Deb and Karen. It's so good to be seeing you and have the opportunity to chat, especially now when we're kind of all starved for socializing. So I just think this is such a great idea, and thanks for inviting me.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thanks for being here and making some time in your superwoman schedule. I love seeing all your posts, and I've been following you from the mainland back here, and you always just really inspiring woman on the island, and you have such a strong voice, and I know a lot of young women look up to you, and a lot of women my age look up to you as well. And so I'm just really happy to have you here, and I know Deb and Karen are as well for Wahine Weekend. Now, you are one of the, I don't know, you're the director or you help spearhead the Women's March on Maui, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm not the director. The woman who's really the powerhouse behind Women's March on Maui and actually across the United States is my very good friend Teresa Cooper Shook, who lives here in Hana. I helped with the Women's March the first couple of years, getting it off the ground, spreading the word, kind of boots on the ground, support and commitment for that movement and that first event in January 2017 when we were all shell-shocked and just craving something that would get us all together and help us feel collectively empowered. So it wasn't till this last year that I took over as chair of Women's March for Maui and the state of Hawaii, and started having conversations about what are next steps that we could think about? The march has been great. It's been an annual event that really keeps us thinking about where we're going as women during a time when sort of women, we're getting pushed back, and we want to make sure that we're pushing forward. But we're hoping that in the next few years, we can be kind of galvanizing around some more kind of initiatives, like we've spearheaded the Maisie Hirono Scholarship for a young activist each year, a graduate from one of our high schools, who we've identified as, a future activist, current activist, someone who might be looking to study social justice or a related field in college. So we're getting that off the ground. And then just considering, we've started the Maui Women's March Coalition, which we're hoping to really, as soon as we all get back to work and things get rolling, as kind of a clearinghouse or hub for organizations in Maui County that empower women, support women, and also a place where women who have questions or need more support in the workplace or in other arenas of their life can really come to, and then we can help them get the support and coordinated kind of care or whatever it is that they need, whether it's legal, whether it's personal, or whether it's just bringing women together to help address issues, common issues in Maui County. I started Creative Core in 2015, and it grew out of actually an idea and a grant that I'd been working on to support project-based learning and critical thinking on Lanai, at Lanai High and Elementary School. There was an initiative through a rural development project. So I created a kind of a structure to try to help the school move into more project-based, student-centered, place-based learning there. And I just, I got really excited about it, and it became my passion. I had a background from my days in California, where I helped to spearhead project-based learning, what became kind of a movement there in the 90s. That's how old I am. But so it was a great way for me to return to that. There had been, kind of an rising interest in getting students out working on community school integrated projects. So I just jumped all the way in with both feet and started the Creative Core. And what I do is I help schools really around three different arenas. What project-based learning, place-based project-based learning is one of those arenas. Student-centered literacy is the other, and social emotional learning is the other. So I've got kind of three prongs of the Creative Core, and I work with schools looking to improve in one or all of those kind of areas to help students thrive academically and also socially. And also my passion is bringing schools and communities together for students to really feel the impact that they're making on their communities, so that the learning is something that's built in and integrated into projects where students are having that power to impact the place that they live in a way that they think is the most important. It's not easy, I mean, my daughter feels really overwhelmed right now with COVID, and really we're both really involved and deeply affected by the Black Lives Matter movement and what we've been seeing as far as the brutality against African Americans throughout the U.S. So we've been out sign waving with BLM for weeks and weeks and weeks as well. But she's, struggling a bit with, she's so passionate And I think one thing that I'm trying to help her with as best I can is how do you balance wanting to be involved and wanting to reach out and do everything that you can to help, but also not wanting to, end up in a heap crying on the couch, which happens, right? And it's a lifelong kind of journey to finding that balance and not getting so overwhelmed that you're not effective. So she and I have been having a lot of conversations around that in the last several months as we've been holed up together here every day. But I'm so proud of both the kids, and I'm so proud of Skylar's tenacity and her outspoken nature. And she's my hero. So for sure.
That's beautiful, man. That is so cool. What a beautiful, I always look up to you and I always think what a wonderful lady you are. And to hear you say that about your daughter, it's like, she's the future,
Yeah.
How lucky are we to have a role
This
model?
generation is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to deliver us from this.
Please.
also it's like, why do we have to do all this, but they got it. They got it, man. They know what is right, just deeply and inherently. And I'm so heartened and hopeful when I hear my daughter and her generation talk about what's real and what's right. And they don't struggle with the concepts I think that we have in our generation and before. It's just people are all, they can be who they want to be. Mm-hmm. And these kids are not tripping about differences. They're embracing them. They love them. Yeah. And they're going to rock it.
Wonderful.
As we get out of this COVID thing, just wait. The floodgates, they're just going to be like, rah, ready to charge in, especially after this election.
Well, thank you so much for spending the afternoon with me here for a moment. It's been such a pleasure, and I always look up to you, and I love what you have to say, but at the same time, you're very humble, and I really appreciate that as well. And man, if we want to follow you, Creative Core, correct? We can go to Creative.
Yeah, it's creativecore.org, O-R-G.
Wonderful.
If you want to check it out. And thank you so much, Trish. Thank you for doing this project. You and Deb and Karen for putting this together. I hope it continues for a long time. We really need it.
It's been a magical show. We hope you had a good time. 2020 is the 100-year anniversary for a woman's right to vote in this country. Can you believe it's only been that long? It's more vital than ever to exercise our right this year. You can drop off your ballot at any county deposit box by 7 p.m. election night. Those are available at fire stations and community centers around the island, or directly at the county building in Wailuku. For more information, just go online to the Hawaii Offices of Elections. Don't be a fool. Voting is cool. I'm Trisha Dish, and we'll see you back here on Sunday, November 15th for another thrilling edition of WAHINE WEEKendz. This time we're featuring R&B queen Rabbit, that's with 2 T's, and an array of wonderful wahine we know you'll adore. Thanks for joining us. Peace, love, aloha.
Mahalo for tuning in. Mahalo for wearing your dadgum mask. Woo!